Greetings, little pigs. Let me come in.
Here's Johnny.
Welcome to Studs Up.
As you can probably tell by the getup and those spooky titles, this is a Studs Up Halloween special coming to you from the very haunted Old Queen's Head in North London.
Yes, but fear not, because alongside his questionable horror parodies, there are still plenty of football stories to get through.
The weekend just gone saw Damari Gray ghost through the Everton defence and Wilfred Zaha provide that twist ending that even M. Night Shyamalan will be proud of.
And you can guarantee fireworks this Sunday because 4 of the league's top 5 go head-to-head.
But before all that, let's find out what else we got coming up.
They won the Under-17 World Cup, Toulon tournament, the Under-19 Euros and the Under-20 World Cup.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, I love this question.
That is cold.
Stick around for all of that, but first, Johnny, I hear you have a bit of a Halloween treat for everyone this week.
Treat.
Yeah,
I
treat.
see what you did there. Well done, Rachel. But it's true, I do indeed. The eagle-eyed amongst you last weekend would have noticed that for the first time this season, Premier League teams were playing with a yellow ball. And thanks to our friends at Nike, I've managed to get my hands on one. It's called the Autumn V High Vis. What do you think of that, Rach?
I love it, but forget the clocks going back, because when this ball makes an appearance, we all know that winter has begun. We
do indeed. And as winter is when the Premier League famously ramps up the pressure, it brings us neatly onto this week's Pressure Index. It's powered by Opta and brought to you by Golden Shore. And this week features 2 Englishmen and 2 Brazilians.
We can't talk about pressure without giving a massive shout out to the newly crowned Under-17 World Champions.
Well done, boys.
I mean, another brilliant performance from the young England side that came from 2-0 down to win 5-2 in the final.
And regardless of age, I mean, that was one of the finest, that was one of the best international performances I've ever seen, I think. I mean, there's definitely some individual talents in the team that look like they could make it to the very top.
Well, we hope so. And I've got a stat for you, Johnny. In 2017, England, they won the Under-17 World Cup, Toulon tournament, the Under-19 Euros and the Under-20 World Cup.
It's not been a bad year. It's not been a bad year at all. But it does bring us on to a burning question that we may as well use for this week's poll as well. When will England win the Senior World Cup? For 2018, use the angry emoji.
For 2022, use the shocked emoji.
For 2026, use the crying emoji.
And finally, for never again, use the laughing emoji.
One thing that I still can't get on board with the under-17s is that whole back-to-front shirt celebration thing. Yes, I've tried to make it work myself, and I can't see it catching on.
No, me neither. So moving on. Anyway, Troy Deeney's face-squeezing antics at the weekend, yeah, like that, got us thinking about the scariest Premier League players in history. And with it being Halloween, yes, our outfits, we thought we'd pick our top 5. So check these out.
That hurt more than I expected. Joining us now and making us both feel incredibly inappropriately dressed is Funmbi Omotayo. Funmbi,
how you guys doing?
Welcome to Studs Up, mate. Now, you're a Newcastle fan.
Yes.
And just in time for Halloween, some scary news.
Yes.
Merino.
I know, Mikel Merino. He's had a good start for us as well, so it's come at a bad time because we're on a decent run, and he's played so well. I really like watching him in the midfield with Shelby, so it's disappointing, but I also like Hayden, so I feel we've got cover for that position.
Just about enough.
Yeah,
and who would have said that about Newcastle at the start of the season?
No one.
Well, you're happy. You just said you're happy with how Newcastle are. OK, so the Mike Ashley era could potentially be coming to an end.
Yes.
What are your
Thoughts and the fans' thoughts on that, I guess?
It's just funny how we're at a place in football where a chairman leaving the club is good news. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yes, we're going to get someone else. It's just a case of who's going to come in. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter if Mike Ashley goes or not. I just want a rich Sultan to just come in with bags of treasure and just take us to the Champions League final. That's what everyone's thinking right now, isn't it?
Is it sometimes like the controversy off the pitch, which you're better off without? Like just having a stable owner that isn't getting in the paper every 5 minutes might be just a nice and bit of momentum.
If you look at what Rafa's done, do you know what I mean? The team's stable because of good management, and now we just need it from everywhere. Once we get the board intact, do you know what I mean? Look at Burnley. Do you know what I mean? They've not spent big money, but they're so organised and everyone's on the same page. They're able to maintain a good position. And Newcastle's at like 52,000 seats a stadium. We should be having that stability at least.
Well, you're currently 9th after 10 games. As a Newcastle fan, you can't really complain with that at the moment.
Nope, 9th after 10 games. Everyone, it's funny because Paul Merson had not predicted us to win 1 game this season. So I tweeted him saying, you haven't predicted us to win 1 game this season and look at us now. But yeah, 9th after 10 games is an amazing achievement, especially when everyone thought we'd probably be struggling in relegation. Like even I did, but I'm happy, man.
OK, so we'll get some more thoughts on Newcastle and the Premier League in just a bit. But right now, it's time for Worst of the Week from the aptly named Chris Skull.
Hi, I'm Chris Skull from the hit niche podcast Quickly Kevin, Will He Score? And here are my top 3 Worst of the Week. In at number 3, Mikel Antonio. You know, it was only a week ago where I thought, well, it can't get much worse than seeing a fairly big guy jump for another man's sweaty shirt at the National Stadium and disappear out of view. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, West Ham. Mikel Antonio, it's the 97th minute. You've got 2 options pretty much. Just get it in the corner and do nothing with it, literally nothing, or give it to Chicharito, who's about to score. He's got like a really easy chance. What you don't do is give it to Scott Dan's chest for him to give to Speroni, for him to give to Zaha, for us to lose 2 points. Points win prizes. Number 2, Jose Mourinho. I mean, you're not in football to make friends, but you're certainly not in football to lose them. Don't alienate your own fans. That's kind of PR 101. My absolute worst of the week is Man United fans themselves. Come on, guys. You've got one of the best strikers in the Premier League at the moment. The guy's a beast. And he's not Tevez. He's not, Forrest Gump in the second half of that film. He's not going to run coast to coast. That's not what his game's about. He's a beast. Give him a chance. Back him up. Don't let him run around. He's going to score goals. He doesn't need to be a long-distance runner. Give him a break, guys. And that's my top 3. Cheers.
Yep, so worst of the week there from the man called Skull. Anyway, Funmbi, right, back to Newcastle, and you have Rafa Benitez at the club. He's such a big manager. I mean, what's the thought of him still being here now in his second season in charge?
It's a dream come true. I mean, the funny thing is, it's the one good thing Ashley did, just get Rafa Benitez. He's such a great manager, and he deserves the transfer, the support of a backing of a good chairman, because he can really do something for that club. The fans love him. You know, he knows what he's doing. Our defence is intact. We're not leaking goals. I'm watching Newcastle and I'm confident, like 45 minutes in, yeah, still nil. We've got a chance. You know, back in the day, that just wasn't the case. We'd leak like 5-0. We've conceded like 10 goals this season. Liverpool have spent, you know, big money. They've conceded 16. So, and that's down to his management, his understanding of the game, and to have him at Newcastle, it's an amazing thing.
The bond between the fans and the manager is quite important as well, isn't it?
Important.
Because Benitez, he was under a lot of pressure at the start of the season when nothing was happening transfer-wise, but people weren't pointing the finger at him quite so much.
I thought he was going to walk. I just said to myself, just don't upset Rafa. I don't care what you do, just don't let this man go, because any club will take Rafa Benitez. Everton would have a Rafa Benitez right now. That's even a selling point. You know, we've got Rafa Benitez. You know, you're going to do something with this guy.
Now, moving away from Newcastle for a minute, it's another big weekend of the Premier League. This weekend, City are facing Arsenal, and then of course United are travelling up to Chelsea. But City go first. Arsenal have had a good result in the last week. Do you think they have enough to, you know, halt City's march to the top?
It's going to be difficult. I mean, City are scoring FIFA record goals. You know, like they're just on fire. It's funny because I saw Raheem Sterling on Sunday at a comedy show in Manchester, and I asked him, he was like, you know, we're pretty confident we're going to do well. So, you know, it's going to be tough for Arsenal, but anything can happen in football. But they just can't let City get going, because if they do, it's going to be high scores.
Well, on to another game then. You've got Mourinho going back to his old club. What do you think United are going to do at Stamford Bridge? Park the bus again, true Mourinho style?
Yeah. Mourinho,
there we go, straight up. Yeah, that's it. No.
He's not gonna push it. He's not gonna go for the win. Mourinho sees the long game, man. It's about winning the league, not winning at Chelsea. He could care less about that. He's just not gonna lose. And if he can get a draw from there, and then he would, you know, try and take his chances when they come to Old Trafford. But don't expect no gung-ho football from Mourinho.
And you can't really blame him at the moment. I mean, look at how much stick he got last weekend, and then that little gesture he did to the cameras at the end to say, at the end of the day, this works.
Yeah, that's Mourinho though. If you expect any more, you're just deceived. You're just letting yourself down. He's gonna win regardless of how you see it and how you enjoy it. He's gonna win, and that's all he cares about. So, and you know the trademark, he does it all the time. Like, be quiet, let me do my thing.
Well, you've heard what we think. Let's check out some stats about this weekend. It's part 2 of this week's Pressure Index.
Now it's time for a very, very serious part of the show, everybody. It's time for the 6-pointer.
It's all multiple choice. There are 6 questions. 5 questions equal 1 point apiece. One final question is your bonus, which can double your points so far. There is a jam-packed leaderboard to take part in. I'm not going to tell you what you're aiming for, because I won't want you to put your hopes so high this early on.
Are you worried?
Nah, not at all. Let's go.
Well,
Bring
you
it.
should be. First question. Giving you a quote right now. You need to fill in the blank. And when you do things like that about a man like blank who was named Kevin Keegan's rant in 1996. 2 answers here. One is right, obviously going in that blank space. Stuart Pearce or Les Ferdinand?
Stuart Pearce.
Boom!
Great start, great start. 1 point on the board. Question 2. Which former Newcastle player has made more Premier League substitute appearances than any other player in the competition's history? Is it Paul Dalglish or Shola Amiobi?
You'll get this, surely, this guy.
Shola Amiobi.
Just knocked a bottle down in excitement on there. Shola Amiobi is your guess.
Yes.
It's the correct answer. That's 2 on the board. Great start.
Newcastle are the only team to come from 4 goals down to avoid defeat in a Premier League game, doing so against which team?
I can answer this now, you know.
Go on then, confidence.
Like, I don't need a multiple choice. Arsenal.
It's good actually because there is no multiple choice on there. There's no multiple choice, but Arsenal is the
I'm
answer.
in cocky mode right now.
Oh,
can
wow.
I get a name now? Okay, there
3
we go.
out of 3.
Yeah, let's go.
We've seen some 3 out of 3s in the past, and it usually goes wrong from here on in. Okay, question 4. Newcastle have not come from behind at half-time to win a Premier League home game since the launch of which device? The iPad or the iPhone?
I thought you'd be that confident you'd stop him halfway.
Is it the iPad or iPod?
No, the the iPod or iPhone. I got cocky and stopped reading the card.
As much as it burns me, I think it's going to be since the launch of the iPod.
iPod over iPhone.
Burnt!
Wrong. See, we told you people get 3 and 3 and they're like, ooh, I know this.
Get
Not happening.
cracking.
Stop trusting your gut.
Come on, just because Halloween. Focus. Okay, right.
Okay.
Next question. Who has scored more Premier League goals? Alan Shearer or Derby County?
Oh, I love these questions.
Oh, I love this question.
That is cold. Ooh. I honestly think...
Honestly, yeah, we'd like an honest answer.
I'm going to say Shearer scored more goals than Derby County.
Look at this face. That's a face of utter non-surprise because it's actually Derby County.
Wrong.
See, I told you, people get so confident. But don't you worry, we have the 6th bonus question.
Okay.
The 6th point question.
Double my
you double your points. Who is the last Newcastle player to be named in the England squad at a tournament? Michael Owen or Kieran Dyer?
It's going to be Kieran Dyer.
Has to be Kieran Dyer.
Yeah, because Michael Owen didn't really make England when he started playing for us.
I like your logic. He was on the downward curve at the time. Injured a lot as well. Yeah. Obviously, the answer is Michael Owen. World Cup 2006. That's
so
3
that
points.
Means 3. That is it from all of us this week. Thank you ever so much for watching, and we're not going to be back next week because it's International Week.
But we will be back in just 2 weeks' time, so fear not. Funmbi, thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks for having me.
There's my rubbish plastic sign. Enjoy Halloween. Look, you're not supposed to hold it on the blade, because then they'll know it's not very sharp. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.